I personally believe we as people should stop, or at least lessen the amount of times that we quote somebody else's rhetoric or philosophy or a famous saying, such as life is short or blood is thicker than water, or different things like that. Things that we attribute to, oh, this is a life lesson that we've learned that we should carry on, or like a quote that I've heard her say, I've been eating. It's just got shit all over my mouth. Look, certain quotes and things that we've heard, or people be like, oh, this is useful information, or this is something nice to have. The reason I say that is for the reason that the lesson of the telephone game back in school stuck with me as long as it did. And even something like that stuck with me because that has actually been useful in life. The game you play at school where you like have, well, shit, I don't know what kids do nowadays. Back when I was in school, I'm sure everybody knows, most people know about the telephone game. And with the telephone game, the thing is you take two tin cans, put them on opposite sides of each other. You take a long ass string and you connect those two tin cans, and then you literally can use them like a telephone. So what you say in one end, somebody else put up on the other side of the ear, and then they can hear that shit. And so what we would used to do is we would do that for the classroom full of kids. And then it would be like, hey, what did you start off saying? And the person would be like, oh, I said cups are full of water in the wintertime. And then you go to the last person and you be like, what did you say? And somehow they come up with, oh, I heard nipples are recessive to watermelons in the springtime, or some goofy shit like that. And then it could be for various amount of reasons why they came up with a different saying than what you said. Some people try to be funny, they're kids, that's natural. Some people really misunderstood what the next person said, and then it continues to go down the line. I say what I say for this reason, going back to the beginning of the video where I was like, people should just stop following random quotes that we've heard different people either throughout movies, history, philosophers, or religion has said, is because the more something goes through time and the more different ears that it goes through and the more different mouths and thought process that it goes through, it loses its original meaning. You have no idea when somebody says something that may seem impactful. You don't know the mindset that they were in. You don't know the mindset, the state of mind. You don't know that their health that they were in, the influence that was going around them that warped them to say one thing. They could have been spitting straight bullshit. It might have been we genuinely don't know. And if we know people being people, somebody literally might have a paper due the next 10 minutes and they said some goofy ass shit. And next thing you know, we got, oh my goodness, this is the best thing since sliced bread. Something saying something like that, right? That's just commonplace. I believe it keeps us as people, as common day people, from coming up with our own frame of thought, for thinking of shit ourselves, from being able to form our own opinions about shit. That's why I don't personally and I get it to a certain extent, but I personally don't like when I see videos that are like, hey, can you guys show me recommendations? Can you give me recommendations for games or movies and things like that? And that's not to say that motherfuckers should stop asking for or stop giving recommendations for all of these things. But back in the day, I say this, it may make it sound like I'm a dinosaur or some shit, but back in the day, we literally didn't have that shit. Before the internet, and even when the internet was an early thing, before forums came into play, and if you weren't old enough for the forums, we didn't have any of that shit. We had to go discover shit. When we went into Blockbuster, when we went into different shit like Family Video and all this other shit, we had to search for ourselves. The goddamn library, so much shit that we had to search for ourselves. And a lot of this shit may have been goofy. A lot of this shit may have been goofy because of my self-search. I know about silly ass things that may never amount to something. Like tattooed teenage alien fighters from Beverly Hills, or strippers versus zombies, or something like that. But I can bring that up in a conversation and introduce somebody to that shit. Or tell somebody about that shit, and it'd be a conversation starter. Or I might somehow, through any of that stuff, whether it be goofy or serious, I might be the next one, or you might be the next one to come up with your own goddamn saying that people may not seem like shit now while you're alive, but later down the line, somebody might pick that shit up and be like, oh damn, this was gold. What were they going through in their life? And now everybody's fucking saying it. I think we should start choosing to see lives from our own frame of reference. Nowadays, everybody wants this person's perspective. Everybody wants that person's perspective. How did you make it through this time? What were you going through in your own goddamn recession? Like, what was your thought processes when you were like creating this thing or when you said this thing? I think people should just opt to live. And that's so fucking hard to say. It almost seems hypocritical that I'm saying it, making this shit from a video, talking about this but behind like a lens, like a literal fucking lens on a goddamn video, getting ready to upload this shit. But like, shit's just boiled down to, in my personal perspective, it's not 100% like that all the way. As dour as things are and as much bullshit as I've been going through, I can't sit here and be like 100% of the time, absolutely, like, this is how it is and blah, blah, blah. No, like we live in an age where like the digital, we're to the point where we're like this far away from like integrating ourselves with the digital, like becoming almost, or already inseparable from it. Like, I don't think there's a person, unless you just ain't living that lifestyle, which is a possibility, that can go without their phones. But I think that should be important for us to opt to live our own lives and not just always immediately go to, what did this person say? Or, you know, the great of the greats said, or this is what this person did to get to, no, just live y'all shit. Just live y'all shit. Half these people that we be referencing and talking about, most of these motherfuckers didn't catch fame until after they left the earth. People gave not one shit about them. I was just listening to something earlier this morning about H.P. Lovecraft. One of them, like, if you know anything about like eldritch horror or horror in general, I'm sure you've heard H.P. Lovecraft's name. This motherfucker is probably one of the most like famous occult writers and writers of occult and eldritch horror in life that we know today. This motherfucker didn't catch his fame until he died. Until after he was long gone. Motherfuckers did not give a shit about him. And there was so many more people that were like that. That their words didn't become famous or anything like that until they were gone. And they were just living a normal ass life. But everybody now so quick to like, I guess, emulate that. I feel. And we know why. The motherfuckers want views nowadays and they want retention and all this other shit. That's why you rarely nowadays, especially on my For You page, you rarely see anybody that got something, how can I say, explicit to say, something in your face, explicit and meaningful to say that's over 2 minutes long. Most people want shit to be palatable, or most people want shit to be quick and in your face, or they have to because that's how they get their revenue. That's how they get their shit. And so they're like, oh, I need this to be like under a certain amount of minutes. But in my opinion, I usually try to skip over those videos because personally I'm like, if you got something serious to say, don't feed me that. Don't give me like a fruit roll up of a snack. Not literally, but like, don't give me like some empty ass snack of worth of information that I should be like taking my time to process and consume, and you throw that shit in my face in under like 2 minutes. I don't know. That's the culture we live in though. Like, if from one end you can't knock it because it's a part of us now, but at the same time it's like, damn, like, this is the reason original thought is lost to most motherfuckers is because everybody's trying to redo the last shit. That's the world nowadays. That's the fucking world nowadays. Everybody's either rehashing, remaking, or repurposing something from the old days. And it's like, damn, is the age of innovation actually over? Which I know it's not. That's bullshit. We just ain't seeing the right people. It's motherfuckers out there now that are making goddamn complicated electric coils and machines in their backyard. And there's another guy out there that's turning goddamn plastic waste into fuel. So I know there's still innovation out there. It's just motherfuckers want the super fast microwave quick shit, because that's what everybody gets down to nowadays. Just what's on my mind this morning as I do this shit. Y'all take it easy out there.